Welcome back to the Teed Up Golf Podcast. Massive episode, the final episode for 2025. And of course, we are joined by the Crown Australian Open champion for 2025, Rasmus Neergaard-Petersen, the great man from over there in Denmark, has joined us on the podcast. Mate, thank you for your time.
Of course, mate. Of course. Happy to be on.
It's great to have you on. Last time I saw you, I was asking you about HSPs in the media centre after your history-making win at Royal Melbourne. You've had a week to let the dust settle now, mate. You've had your big party. You're a bit dusty after catching up with family and friends. But mate, how's it all settled in you? You're a DP World Tour winner, a National Open champion. Must feel pretty good.
It feels incredible. I'd said it all year. It's been, to be honest, like the last month and a half, it's been pretty awesome, right? I had a couple big goals for the year, and the two biggest one being getting my PGA Tour card, and then getting a win out there. So to do them both in the last three events it's pretty cool. I'm still struggling a little bit for it to like completely settle in, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think about it that I'm like, man, it's just kind of it's such a surreal feeling. Like I'd thought about it, ever since I started playing golf, wanting to win on the DP World Tour. So again, to do it there at that place, such a historic event, it's pretty awesome. So slowly starting to look ahead to what's to come next year. It was already going to be an exciting 2026, but obviously with the Masters in mind that comes with the win as well, I just can't wait.
Unbelievable. Like, what a great Australian Open it was. You played last year as well when it was the mixed event with the women at Kingston Heath and Victoria. And then you've come out this year. Obviously the crowds were unbelievable. The Rory factor. I don't care what anyone says. Rory coming here. Everyone's like, oh, no, they just wanted to. No, they came to watch Rory McIlroy. It was unbelievable. But what was it like? You've played in some big events. You played in a couple of majors this year. Like, what did it feel like being out there in the main group with one of our champions in Cam Smith? Did it feel like, you're playing in a major? Like, was it that good?
Yeah, honestly, crowd like that. I was trying to explain it to some of my friends here at home. Obviously, it's so far away, and some of them that set their alarms really early to get up and watch me play. But no, the crowds were absolutely incredible. Again, someone told me, was it 115,000 for the week?
Yeah,
I mean, that's stuff you only see in the very biggest events in the world. And especially with how congested it was that final day, obviously playing with Cam Smith as well. I was telling my parents, I'm like, okay, so I think there was probably 30,000 people out there for the day. I'm like, well, there's 10,000 with Rory, and then the last 20,000 spread over the last 2, 3, 4 groups. And I'm like, because they're at both the majors I played this year, and it felt like a major in that the crowds were great, massive crowds, and obviously the golf course as well, like a true major setup, like really firm, really fast. You don't have to be much off to get yourself in trouble. So no, absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to come back and try and defend my title next year.
Great, we've locked him in. That's good. We didn't have a defending title this year. Mate, I want to talk to you about the weeks leading up to it. So obviously, over in Dubai at the Tour Championships, you got to play with Rory and, finished third there and all that sort of stuff. But post that, you came out, and it's been well noted that you came out with Dave Micheluzzi to do a bit of prep. You played out at the magnificent Peninsula Kingswood. And I've got on good authority here from Jack Raz that I think you shot 64s and 65s first looks at the course, and you slap driver everywhere because there's enough room. Why not? Is a quote that Jack gave me. But that prep is something that obviously it's really pointed that you had a bit of a mission to win out here. Why did you come out early? It's a big thing to do. And what did you learn when coming out here to play those courses?
Well, there's a couple. I'd actually been talking to Micheluzzi about it for a while, even before I had the finish I did in Dubai. One thing is, like, even last year, I just love it down there. And I had this year, the schedule allowed for that to be a week in between the Dubai tournament and the first one in Australia. So it just, again, I can't think of a lot of other things I'd rather do on like a week off than to go play with my mates at great golf courses. So one, it made travel a lot easier because then it's one flight. It's a little bit less of time difference as well, but at the same time, you're going down there playing great golf courses. And obviously it helped me in a way getting kind of a sense for how sand-built golf courses can play. I obviously played it last year, but nothing close to the condition this year in terms of firmness and the sheer speed of the golf course. So again, as you said, Michael Lucy, we were playing out at the Peninsula Kingswood, and I was hitting driver pretty much anywhere because I felt like there was enough room. When we got to Royal Melbourne, and it got a lot firmer and faster, I hit way less drivers than I did at PK. I'll be the first to say, but no, it's just great getting out there. And one thing is, as a prep for the tournament itself, but also just time to enjoy being on the golf course. I just generally love playing golf. So again, it felt like, it felt like one of those things I've been wanting to do all year. And funny enough, it's even before I'd gotten my PGA Tour card, I'd kind of had my trip to Australia circled for most of the year because again, there was a lot of hype surrounding it, especially with Rory coming down, but it's certainly lived up to it. What a great week it was.
It was unbelievable. We got in there Monday. I went up to Brisbane and came down straight away to Monday. I just didn't want to leave. The way that it was set up, it just felt magical the whole week. And having Rory in town, like I'll talk to you as well, what he's done, I guess, for the DP World Tour this year and in the last couple of years. You've played your first full year out there this year, and then you're skipping off again. But what's he done, I guess, for European golf over the last few years? I think it's a bit understated, obviously with the live feud he had and then sort of winning the career Grand Slam, but just putting places back on the map. I think it's really understated what he's done. But what's it like from your side of the world, and, what sort of impacts he had?
You could say pretty much, with him coming back and playing a bunch of those events, going to Australia, I think in today's game, you could look back, obviously the amount of aura, just sheer aura that Tiger had back in the day. I think if you look at the world stage now, especially with Tiger not playing, I don't really think there's any players that have the same amount of just aura as Roy. Like there's no one that can pull together a crowd that he can. So for him to come out to some of these events, he went to India as well, go down to Australia. I think even if you're looking ahead, him coming down to Australia this year and coming down next year, that's what down the line could help bring the Australian Open back to where it needs and should be rightfully. It's one of the oldest championships we have in the world and playing at some of the best golf courses in the world. So there's no way it shouldn't be one of the premier events every year that all the top players in the world have circled on their calendar, because that's what it deserves to be. And I think we showed it this year with how good an event that was.
It was 50 household names in the field. If you're a golf nerd like I am, 50 household names, 50 people I wanted to see play. None more than yourself after hearing what Jack Raz has to say. Eddie Pepperell was one, and James Morrison, the funniest man in DP World Tour history. They're the three guys I wanted to see hit it, and I did.
Yeah. No, yeah. But every time you play an event where Roy's playing, he's throughout the last 10, 15 years, he's pretty much been the pinnacle of European golf. Certainly the best European player of our generation. And again, he just means so much to the game, is so much to European golf as a whole. So again, him continuously coming back and supporting the DP World Tour and helping the DP World Tour continue to grow is just means so much to, obviously one thing is the sponsors, but to the players as well. We want to, as players on the DP World Tour, we want to have the best events possible. And again, him coming back and giving back that way is huge.
Yeah, the truly national the tour now. It's just awesome what it's happened. And one more thing about your previous Melbourne trip, the HSP stuff. Did you get the full Cranbourne experience? Did Dave give you like the full tour of the homeland? And what was your highlight, I guess, from that first little stretch?
Well, so I think it might have either the first or the second round we played at PK is like off because I think it was it might have been on the Friday. Because we're talking about kind of, obviously it's a little bit, I was actually staying at Crown for that week as well. Nice. So we're talking about having dinner, and obviously he lives a little bit out of the city. So you know what, after the round today on that Friday there, we're going to get HSPs, and he was trying to explain it to me what it was. And I was like, that sounds awfully familiar to something I would get all the time at home. I have had my Danish version after coming home, I'll be the first to say, but no, got the full HSP. I forgot what the spot we got it from. We got it from like, he's like, this is like the proper spot to get it from, and it was great, and I just couldn't help myself. I think I had it 2-3 times throughout the Australian Open week as well, because it's very good, easy, obviously. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think he told me a story. I can't remember what event he'd played where I think he played great, and he just talking to a nutritionist after, and she was like, so like, what do you do for food recovery that week? Obviously, he had played great. It's like, oh, I just had an HSB every night, and she just looked at him mortified.
No,
For
he's
now,
one of
just
the greatest.
really enjoyed. And again, that's another thing. Obviously, enjoyed the golf course and the people down there. I enjoyed the culture in Australia. It's for me. I've felt like if just it was a little bit closer, I would come there a lot more often, because obviously it is pretty far away,
Yeah.
and that's. But again, just really enjoy being down there. The coffee as well, underrated part of the country that
Oh,
I feel like there's not enough people around the world that understands truly how good Australian coffee is.
no, you're spot on. We're pretty snobby down here, in particular in Melbourne. We've got the best coffee in the world, not all in the country. But I want to talk to you about the tournament proper.
Mm-hmm.
It was 4 days of like indifferent weather. I remember on the Monday or
Yeah,
the Tuesday it rained, and they held the course back a little bit on Thursday because of the winds. You shot rounds
yeah.
of 67, 66, 66, 66, and then a 70 to finish. How did you manage that? Like coming down, playing in a foreign country in a world class field, in particular the last round you're playing with Cam and Siwoo, like it was brutal out there. But tell us about that and how you managed to put those scores together on a course you'd never looked at.
Well, actually, I'd seen, so while I was in Dubai, I'd seen Mika Lucy put up a couple of stories on his Instagram from practicing. I'm like, he's wearing a beanie. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, I know the weather can change. I'm like, surely it's not that cold. But no, it's one of those weeks where the conditions on the course changed so much. As you said, we get out there Thursday, high winds, warm winds from the north, everything's drying out, so they have to hold the course back just to get play in. And again, I think on a side note, I think they did a tremendous job preparing the course, getting it
Yeah,
just right to where we could still play there. And then we get out there Friday, and they probably had to pull the course back a little bit because it was really, really firm by the end of the first day. And again, just throughout the week and then you get Saturday, it's kind of on off showers all day, so everything's playing a little bit softer. And then till we get the perfect final day where weather is perfect, sun's out, and it's drying up and getting faster and faster. So you just really had to. It's one of those, you put down a game plan. It's not so much. It's so some course you can say, okay, I'm just going to hit a 3-wood here or whatever there, but the way to play with the different conditions, a lot of the week you kind of had to just keep adjusting to the conditions you had that day. So instead of playing certain clubs off tee, you're playing to certain spots. Like, I want to be in this spot because from here I can hit it to the right spot around the greens, and then just kind of try and make it as simple as possible. Um, but again, I've had at least the last couple months, I've had a really good ability to be able to close out rounds and just staying patient and not necessarily, even if it's the putts are not dropping early, not panic, and then just kind of stay the play, and knowing that you can hit a run of stringing together good shots at any time. So, I mean, especially that first round and the third round, being able to close out well, and even the final round, just getting on a run late was something that, that changes those rounds drastically. I'm standing. I think the first round, I'm standing on the 14th tee and I'm level par, which, granted, like with the conditions that day, that's still a good score. But then all of a sudden, I'm turning a 71 into a 67 by finishing great.
mm.
The same thing on the Saturday there. It's kind of moving along a little bit slowly. I'm not really moving anywhere, but again, just having that strong finish is allowing me to turn a otherwise decent round into a really good round and really put me in position. So that's something I've seen throughout the events where I played the best all year. It's been the events where I've been the most patient and just not really worried about where I was at or whatever. I just worried about the next shot, and then just keep being patient and waiting for to you can catch fire, you could say, or just to get on a bit of a roll. And that's one of the cool things about Royal Melbourne as well. The rotation and the combination of holes you're playing is like there are some holes to score on the last 6 or so.
Yeah.
So again, if you just stay in it, you can get on a run. If you're not, you're not necessarily pushing too hard. You just kind of gotta let it come to, like, your score come to you, and that's one of the things. That's probably the thing I did the best all week, is I didn't really let poor shots and bogeys, derail me. I just kind of stayed the course, and then was able to finish really well in each of the rounds.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. A stat from the week was, I think the front nine played 277 shots more than the back nine. So it was definitely the back nine, the scoring nine. I think there's a couple of par fives, the only par fives on the course over the back there. Mate, I want to talk about the final stretch. It was go time. Cam hit the lead. The crowd was building. Like the place was buzzing. I was sitting on the 12th fairway in a commentary box. You could just feel it. Like that something special was going to happen. Aussies were hoping it was going to be Cam's day. He's had some near misses in the Aussie Open, and you almost played the evil villain there, mate. But it was just, I was so happy for you, and watching like the position you just put yourself in. He made birdie, and then 17. Cam hit it left, and it looked like it was yours to lose. And then Cam made the putt, and then down 18, and you put it into the numpty, and somehow get it up and down.
Yeah.
But what was it like for you being that guy? Like, you've probably never been in that position on someone else's home turf, to have everyone not wishing you, bad luck, but hoping that Cam has good luck. How did that feel?
It was quite, it was quite a weird feeling. Again, the crowds out there have been great to me all week, and I was talking to my caddy Brian there.
Brian, the Aussie.
So early in the year, Aussie caddy Brian. Yeah, so early in the year. I know when we played in Denmark, Marco Pench had played with Rasmus Neergaard in the final group. And it's not that anyone's, again, as you're saying, they're not wishing bad on Marco, but they're obviously really wanting Rasmus to win. So I thought, and on some levels, this must have been what Marco was feeling in Denmark. Probably not quite to that extent, because, again, there was over 30,000 people out there. And it's one of those, I watched the last 9 holes back. I did that one time last week, and it's like, it's certainly more stressful watching it back than actually being in it. And it's like, when you're in it, you don't realize how dire a situation it's actually, like how quickly it was changing. I'm standing on 18. I know I had that putt. I still can't believe it didn't go in, by the way.
Me too.
Again, thinking Cam is going to make this, and it got so loud there. And then at the same time, we're going up. So it's looking, I'm going to have a potential 2-shot lead of 18. Then we're tied. We both put in the fairway. And then from the fairway, from the angle from the broadcast, it looks like my approach shot is a lot more right than it actually is.
Yeah.
It's certainly right where I was aiming, but it's actually just a little bit shorter as well. So walking up there, I didn't know it was in the grass. I thought it was going to be in the bunker, which, again, it's not a great spot to be.
No.
But it's certainly better than where it ended up. And I got up there and saw the lie. I'm like, oh my God. I got no chance to get this really close. All I can do is basically just try and land it barely on the green, and it's got to roll out. But at the same time, it's not like, again, Cam's is and has been one of the best putters in the world for, his whole career. So I'm still thinking they're up and down to tie. And obviously I hit a great little hack out chip shot from the rough there, and I don't think I could do much better than that, to be honest. Not without trying to do too much. I almost feel like even if I hit it and landed it an inch on the green, it's still gonna run out to 15 feet. Like, I'm gonna have to make a putt regardless. So I saw his lag down to 6 feet, and I'm thinking to myself, there's not a whole lot of stuff going on. The putt I had there has a lot of break, and it's a tough putt, and it's one of those, you want to give it the chance to make sure it gets there, but at the same time, I'm like, if I try to hammer this in there, I'm not going to get the read right anyways, so I might as well just try to hit a good putt and not worry about if it's going to get there or not. do my very best to get the best possible line and just put a good stroke on it. And I'm thinking to myself, it pops up in my head, I'm like, if I don't make this, I think it's a foregone conclusion he's going to make his. But I'm like, at the same time, if I make this, then there's a chance. And at least we're in it. And it's such a weird feeling, you know, after making a putt and going over there and watching. I'm like heart's pumping. I've just made a putt, huge roar, and I'm there standing, just trying to calm myself down. I'm like, I gotta get myself ready for a playoff. And it's like it's the weirdest thing. It's like right before he hits it, it just popped into my mind. I'm like, man, if he misses this, that's it. That's game over. But it's such a weird feeling, sort of not having in your own hands in the end. It's like there's nothing more I can do. I can just watch, and it doesn't sink in the same way. It's like it's such a weird feeling.
Yeah. I have it on good authority that you said to Aussie Brian that why not try and why I think I can hole it when you first stood over the ball in the rough there on the right.
I actually I said to him, because I'd hit it there. I saw the lie. I'm like, just watch me hold this now. I
I got
mean,
that off Tom
not.
Power Horan. There you go. Big shout out to Tommy.
Somewhat. I mean, obviously not as a joke. Obviously, I'm going to try and hit my best shot possible. At the same time, like, yeah, just imagine. You know, it's been that kind of day. As there's some crazy stuff happening all day. It's like, just imagine. I've just looked like I'm going to have a 2-shot lead going up 18. Then we're tied. Then now I'm in one of the worst spots I could possibly put myself in. It wouldn't. I mean, I was just thinking about, well, I'm like, go ahead and hold this, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, what just happened? And that was a crazy thing watching back the broadcast as well. I think I hear one of the broadcasters go when they dump it there in the rough, and they go, I'm not gonna say impossible, but it's not far from it. And obviously I don't know that, but I'm like, it's just.
Yeah.
Just the way the whole week played out. It was one of those weeks. There was crazy stuff happening all week. And
Yeah.
I mean, obviously from my perspective, what a way to end it. But at the end of the day, I mean, even no matter what had happened and how it ended up, that would have been a week I would have been looking back on for years to come, because what a great event.
Great event. You win. It's crazy. Bedlam, media. What was that like? You know, you've won on the Hotel Planet Tour a few times, and I'm sure you won a lot in your junior career. But what's it like winning on one of the major tours in one of the major events? And you know, what was that like? Ed, what did you learn from that for next time?
Well, first off, I remember some couple of the wins in on the Hotel Planet Tour, like some of the extra stuff, media stuff, and whatnot after. But the whole thing is just amplified here. I think last putt was probably 4:45 ish, and I don't think I was able to leave the golf course before 6:45, 6:30. So again, the whole stuff going on after, I think it was about an hour and 45 minutes before I even got a hold of my phone, because I went in to sign the card after I'd done the first interview, and Caddy Brown went ahead to go ahead and try to pack up my bag and stuff, because I did have a flight out in the evening. But it was just, I remember I got my phone after 2 hours, and I look at my phone and it's like 196 notifications. I'm like, oh boy. It's obviously it wasn't right away when I got back that I got through all that. Just absolutely surreal. And something I'll never forget.
Yeah, mate. April looks like an exciting time for you. One of the great things that that Augusta have put together is for a few national opens, they put a Masters ticket there, and you're the lucky holder of it from Australia. Not only are you playing on the PGA Tour next year, but you're playing in one of the greatest majors of all time, the Masters. How does that? Like, that's just an extra amazing carrot that was dangled.
Oh, I can't wait. I think I said in one of my other interviews, I said I think growing up, it wasn't necessarily the first event that I watched, but growing up, it was always the Masters was the tournament I wanted to play one day. So to be able to do that here in April, it's gonna be pretty awesome, and I certainly can't wait for that little letter coming in the mailbox here around Christmas. That'll be a perfect way to end the year. Just look at that and hold that, and know that I'm going to be there in April. So again, it was already going to be an exciting 2026 playing in the States, but just that little added of basically, I think, so I'm in the Masters. I'm going to be have my debut at the British Open, Royal Birkdale. I should basically be almost guaranteed to be in the PGA. So to have a year where I'm already basically in 3 of the 4 majors and with a
Yeah.
chance to get the 4th, I mean, that'd be incredible. And yeah, just can't wait to get going again. It's funny. It's been what, 8 days since my win. I'm already just can't wait to get going again and get cracking and
Yeah.
get back competing.
Nice, mate. You're you've got a different year this year. You've gone, your last 18 months has been huge, going from hotel planner to fully fledged DP to, you know, winning your card through that amazing system they've got now on the DP World Tour, to playing in the Masters, to nearly being a top 50 player in the world. You're 51st right now on the OWGR. You know, when you look back to this time last year, can you imagine where you're sitting now? Like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I've always had the belief that I'm good enough and then that I can make it to this point. Again, it's one of those, I haven't been a professional for that long, so I could probably have imagined that at some time I was going to be in this position. But again, the fact that it's happened so fast, and I feel like I've been able to just keep improving a little bit, even throughout the middle of the year where I didn't really have the great results. I just felt like I just I was on the right track and just kept on grinding away and knowing that the stuff that I'm working on is getting better. I think a real big thing for me was I had fiddled around with a different lofted driver throughout the middle of the year and drove it good, but I could just kind of. I think the last event I played with, I had a lower lofted driver, was Korea, but I could just start feeling like I just feels like I'm searching a little bit. Not necessarily just trying to make small changes all the time to try and like just find like, oh yeah, this is the feeling, this is where I know it's the best. And it was still good. There was plenty of good, but I'm like, no, I'm just gonna go back to the slightly higher lofted driver. Yes, it might be right when I get back to it, it might be going a little high and spinning a little much and maybe leaving a little bit of distance on the table. But I had to believe, I'm like, even if it doesn't come good right away, I'm like, this is the right track. So I kind of before the last 3-4 events, I kind of refocused and said, I'm not going to worry about whether or not it's going to be good right now. I know this is the right thing to do down the line. So I'm just going to stick with it. And then it comes good when it comes good. And that's really been the thing that has the last couple events that's made one of the massive differences is I've been able to not only have good driving, but good approach play at the same time. Because I ran into that as somewhat of a problem throughout the middle of the year where I would either hit my irons great and then maybe drive it average, or I'd drive it great and then be average with my irons. So I hadn't been able to kind of put it all together. And that's one of the things that I think I can continue to improve at, being better at putting tournaments together.
Yeah. Awesome.
And not being like, okay, one thing's really good, but then another thing's off. So just being better to put it in it all together. Because I've had events throughout the year where I've plenty of events where I've putted good. I've had plenty of events where I've driven it good. I've been good with irons. Been good around the greens. But just being able to put it together and not have like a week where, okay, this week I'm driving it good, but my irons are not where they need to be. Oh, this week for some reason I'm not driving it good, but my irons are good. It's just kind of being able to put together the whole package and then just realize that you don't have to be perfect. I mean, I still remember. I mean, you're gonna have like trials, and you're gonna have kind of adversity throughout a 72-hole tournament. I mean, the third round, I came out playing really good, and then I basically can't do anything wrong, and then all of a sudden, I hit a great shot into 5 and 3-putt from what, 10 feet, and you're like, just throws you in the spin. You're like, what just happened? You're walking off that green with 4, and I'm like, up to that point, I mean, basically haven't set a foot wrong. So there's just stuff like that can happen, but you can't let it derail you. And I was able to I think that was a real key there. So I settled down. I told my caddy Brian, we got up to the seventh green. I made a nice putt there for birdie to get back to, I think, 2 under for the day. That I found myself for a couple holes there after I had the 3 putt, kind of like almost playing or putting not to mess up, instead of like, no, get back to what you're doing. You're trying to, you're playing to play great. And then again, in the day, I would rather hit poor shots fully committed, and then it is what it is. It's what I have a really hard time accepting is if I've end up missing putt shots before I've hit them, like just not fully committed.
Yeah, I love that.
It's the same thing. Like the drive on 18 with the way the wind's coming off the left, it really does not suit my shape or suit my eye, because like you have that tree there, and I cut my driver, so I basically, like, the only shot I can really hit there is I can hit a high cut into the wind, starting over the tree, basically in jump left, and then for it to cut back. But my only mindset on that drive there was like, I'm just gonna go ahead. I'd rather die on the sword. Go ahead and just give it a rip, and then whatever happens, happens. And then not worry too much about the outcome.
Love it. Maybe I need to start doing that, mate. Danish golf's in a really good spot. You've got the Højgaard boys, you've got yourself, you've got is it Jacob Olsen, who's had a pretty good season this year. You've got a few other guys coming through. You guys must be bloody excited for where Danish golf is right now. It's in a cool spot. What's your relationship with those guys? Are you picking their brain? Obviously, both of the Højgaard boys have been on the road you have over to the PGA Tour, and you're going to travel with them this year. What's it look like for you?
Yeah, I'm obviously super excited to get back over. It's been, I'd say I'm fairly close with them. Again, Danish golf is like the golf community in Denmark. We're such a small country to begin with, so everybody kind of knows everybody. And I have fond memories from back when we were juniors, playing on the national team at the European team championships and whatnot. So be able to spend some more time with those guys. Those guys have been great to me. And spend some, even this year at some of the majors or start of the year, they've been great. Just spending some time with them, kind of picking their brain and knowing, just seeing how far they've come as well. So obviously, I don't think I'm necessarily gonna be. I think I'm probably not gonna base myself out of Florida in the States. I'll probably end up going back to Oklahoma, back to the old stomping grounds. They just redid the golf course there, so the facilities are great, and I have a bunch of friends outside of school from that, outside of golf from that area as well. So, but just to be back and be playing with them on a regular basis in the same tournaments is going to be great. And obviously, I'm sure we're going to have a lot of dinners and just enjoy our time over there.
Unreal, mate. You've had an amazing career so far. Can you just give the listener to this Aussie podcast a bit more of an insight into that? So you played at Oklahoma State, your college golf. You played, a lot on the European boys teams and things like that. But just your starting golf, where did you get your starting golf? And can you just take us quickly through the Danish golf landscape? Like, how do you come up through the ranks and all that sort of thing?
Well, so I grew up in a golfing family. Both of my parents, they play golf, and pretty much my dad's side of the family, they either still play golf or have in the past. So a really golfing family. So I started when I was really young, and started on the Danish Junior Golf Academy, which is where my coach is based out of as well. And I worked with him for, I think we're coming up on 12, 13 years now. But then I think I got on the national team the junior national team when I was 14 or 15. And that's the cool thing, is you got the Danish Junior Golf Academy, which a lot of the Danish players have been a part of in the past, but they work really closely together with the national team as well. So again, as I said, it's one of those where pretty much all the golfers, especially around the same generations, we all know each other and play with each other since we were very young. So I think I've been asked before, kind of how we're able to produce so many good players from, again, such a small pool of players, or small pool of people. And I think one of the things that we've done really, really well in Denmark is we learn how to practice with purpose and high quality from a very young age. So obviously, young kids, the first thing is you got to put in the hours. but there's plenty of kids around the world that does that. But I think we practice with a lot of quality from a very young age, learn how to build up a practice, like how, again, it's easy enough sometimes to just go out and hit balls, and it ends up being, if you're just hitting balls to hit balls, it ends just kind of more of exercise than anything else. So we always, when we practice, we have a clear purpose of what are we trying to do in this practice. Um, and then sometimes also, one thing my coach has been good to is like, if you feel like you've been struggling, you're not quite, not, I wouldn't necessarily say not having fun, but it's just, it can be tough sometimes, especially when you're not playing good. It's like just reminding us like why we started to play in the first place. I mean, we started because it was fun, and at the end of the day, if you want to have a long career and you want to spend the hours, you want it to be fun. So just reminding ourselves that sometimes, even if it's struggling, we started because it's fun, so it's supposed to be fun still. So just stuff like that.
Awesome. You got an amazing 12 months coming up, mate. Major starts, all that sort of stuff. What are you most looking forward to? Obviously, the Masters is the obvious one, but like in terms of, where you thought you would be this time in your career, what are you most looking forward to getting over to the States and contending on, the major tours?
Well, again, as you said, the easiest answer would be to say the Masters. That's obviously the looking ahead to next year. That's going to be the pinnacle of what I'm looking forward to. But at the same time, just getting back over there and competing against the best players in the world on a more regular basis, having playing more of the biggest events. That's that's what drives me, is to playing the biggest events for in the most historic tournaments against the best players in the world. So to be able to do that on a more of a regular basis, I just can't wait. And obviously, even I have, I'm probably positioned better than a lot of players would be coming from Europe because I have been over there in college. So I know how, like, I'm more used to the golf courses. I know how they play. I know a bunch of, if funny enough, I know a bunch of players on the PGA Tour that I played against in college.
Victor?
So I have like a whole separate, yeah, Victor, for example, I have a whole
Yeah.
separate network of people over there, that also people just outside of golf that I'm really looking forward to spend some more time with and get to see a lot more often.
Nice. It's cool to know that because a lot of Europeans get over there and spoken to Nick Colsaerts, for example, who went over there,
Yeah.
didn't like it because he just hadn't had that experience. So I think you're definitely going to be one for us to watch for the future, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure to get you on the podcast and
Yeah.
chat about the amazing win that we all witnessed
Yeah.
here. I think we've all just got over it. Here in Australia,
Yeah.
but mate,
Yeah.
all the very best for 2026 and beyond, and we're looking forward to seeing you down at Kingston Heath in 12 months' time. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, mate. Thanks for having me on.